Now, in our populations, we have many non-Caucasians in North America, in our populations, and it's in ever-increasing numbers all the time. You may be non-Caucasian yourself. Now, my main premise, Indians and Europeans were peers and co-equals in 1492, but then everybody forgot. People forgot. We forgot. History forgot. So then, people of non-Caucasian descent, they can say the same thing that Caucasians say. Well, what's this got to do with me? They take credit for all the cool stuff when it happens, like, hey, we thought all this up. But when it comes to the bad stuff, they go, hey, well, what's this got to do with me? My ancestors moved here, and I don't understand why I'm even involved. Why are you even bringing us into it? That's the way it is. We've just built up these habits of attitude over time. So what about all these non-Caucasian people that are part of our cultures now in North America? They could do the same thing. Well, it's Europeans. It's got nothing to do with me, obviously. Now, the other landmass replaces Europeans in the equation in many of these situations because they're still in North America, in South America. They're still taking advantage of the fact that the indigenous were kicked out, and that the wealth derives from being here. The wealth derives from the land. Living generations of non-traumatic life for your children and grandchildren. It all derives from the land, all of that. So people who move here, and they might hear this message and think, well, Europeans, yeah, they did all these things. It's got nothing to do with me. What they're really doing, if they're applying the same types of attitudes as many people do, then they're really, it converts to the Eurasian landmass in that case. So you should be thinking along the lines of Indians and people from the Eurasian landmass were peers and co-equals, but then people forgot because they'll do the same. We thought all this up over there. That's the attitude that they have. Even subject to Asia as well too, but certainly in parts of the areas other than Africa. It doesn't apply to Africa, and I'll get that in a minute. But this brings other aspects into it other than Europe. They can bring in the Fertile Crescent, and they can bring in Egypt, which people will tell you Egypt's not part of Africa. You'll actually hear people say that. And the premise doesn't make sense after 20,000 years, that one Eurasia mass would come out as a bunch of advanced people, and the other Western Hemisphere would come out as a bunch of savages that hadn't advanced at all. Now, we know now that non-Caucasians can have this message apply to them identically the same way, because they also have this "we thought all this up over there" type of an attitude. And they completely discount anything to do with the indigenous, who are either invisible or whose image has been totally destroyed. Now, why are Africans not included in that? They have a shameful legacy as well, too. People want to look the other way, and they don't want anything to do with the actual real history of Africa, where 60 to 70 million of them were killed in a 300-year period between 1500 and 1800. And they contributed huge amounts, similar to the invisibility situation in the Western Hemisphere. People certainly will credit Egypt, but they don't want to credit that as being part of Africa. And Africa gave a lot to our civilization as well, too.